Whoa, there's a Hare Krishna temple there. They got food in there. You know, hippies there. We went into the temple and they served out a meal and I was thinking, okay, that was the first time I went in. I never went in before that.
Okay.
And they said, you like this? I said, yeah, it's great. And they said, well, we have dinner program. You can come every night like this and eat for free. And I thought, ooh, okay.
Free food,
Free
you don't
food.
say no.
Hard to say no. So that's what got me. But you know,
That's how God got you.
that's how God, you know, he lured
Free
me in
food.
by the free food. It's true. I have to admit it.
Sweet. Jai Gurudev, I'm here today with Titiksava Karunika. Did I say that right?
You did. Very good. Das.
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 Okay, Das, which means
Servant
the
of.
servant of the Lord. So it's very great pleasure that you are available.
Yeah, my pleasure to be here.
Session. We are here in the Just Love Festival, and I thought I used the chance to get a little bit of your story, how you got on the spiritual path, where did it all start, maybe something which other people might get inspired from.
Yeah, okay. So I started as a street musician in my early life, playing in bands, but as you know, probably, bands always break up. So at one point in my life, I decided I'm not going to do anything else to support myself other than play music.
Okay.
So when the bands broke up, I would be on the street busking. And I got by like that. I did that from, 1973 till 79.
Oh, we're
Somehow or
talking
another.
about real history, huh?
Yeah, so we're talking about way back. But I was playing on the street and playing in bands and clubs and things like that, and just a struggling musician. Okay. So anyway, I went back east with a friend of mine, and we were determined to start a rock band and become famous, and the kid's dream of a musician, right?
Cool.
So when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, I went to see a George Harrison concert. So at the George Harrison concert is the first time I really came in contact with the mantra and the devotees. So it went like this. I went in to see the concert, and George Harrison, he was traveling at the time with Ravi Shankar and Billy Preston. So it was a very, dynamic show. And in the middle of that show, George asked everybody to sing along with him when he sang the song, My Sweet Lord. And of course, as you probably know, in the middle of that song has the Maha Mantra. So I was singing Maha Mantra, even though I had no idea what it was, or,
No clue at that time.
Yeah, I really didn't know. But George Harrison was doing it, therefore it was okay. So I was singing with him. Then I came out, and there was some Hare Krishna devotees there, and they said to me, oh, did you like the concert? Yeah. Would you like to go see the second show? There was 2 shows, 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock shows. So I said, yeah, sure, I want to go. So they said, well, here's a ticket. I said, okay, They said, well, you pass out these pamphlets, and we'll give you a ticket. I thought, okay, I'll go for it. So I went around and passed out these pamphlets, and one guy, he came up to me, what are you doing? So we're passing out these pamphlets. I said, well, they said if you pass out these pamphlets, they'll give me a free ticket. So he said, well, just throw those in the dumpster and say you did it. I said, no, that's not cool. I'm not going to do that. So,
Dharma.
Yeah, I said I'd do it. What's the big deal? Pass it. I didn't really know what was on the pamphlet. Didn't really care.
You didn't read. You just wanted a free
I just
ticket.
wanted a free ticket. But I said I would do it, so I did it. So I passed him. I went back. So they gave me a sweet ball. Here's a sweet ball. Oh yeah, it's a sweet ball. Where's my ticket? Anyway, took the sweet ball, got the ticket, went back in, chanted Hare Krishna. Okay, so fast forward, 3-4 years, I got some books. These were Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So I was, I thought, okay, let me look at these books. My friend worked at the airport, so he's always getting these books. Hey, you want these things? Yeah, sure. So I was looking at the books, and I started reading Bhagavad Gita. And I realized this book's all about war. I'm not into war. I'm into peace, with hippie long hair, play guitar, Peace, brother, peace.
60,
peace, peace, love, peace, love, So I disregarded. But I
put it away.
I put it away. I didn't, because I was traveling with backpack and, guitar, hippie,
Just the necessary.
hitchhiking.
Just the necessary.
Yeah, so 2 big books, no, you leave them behind, If I really wanted, I would carry it, but it was too much. So that was that. So I got in contact with George Harrison, then I got some books. And then I moved up to Berkeley, California, to start another band with a guy that I was playing on the street with. And we moved up there. And the interesting thing is that while living in Berkeley, of course, that band broke up, as bands do. And again, I was back out on the street again playing. I used to play on the Sproul Plaza in the Berkeley University. And then the devotees, Hare Krishna guys, they would come up with their Harinam. Boom, 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 boom. Hare Krishna, Hare. And I was always wondering, why are these guys so happy, These guys are kind of weird, but they look happy, So I was like that, right?
I want that stuff.
Yeah, well, I was just kind of observing. I didn't think I wanted to be like that, but it did strike me that they seemed happy. Yeah. And then they would come up right next to me. And I'd be playing my guitar, and usually people throw something in the box, and I make a little money, and I go have my bean tostada and my beer, and things were good, life was good. But they would come up next to me, and then all of a sudden the crowd would just get up and walk away, because they were all kind of like, it would...
Irritated.
They were a little irritated, and the whole energy just went from my energy to this other energy that nobody quite understood, and, everything kind of dispersed. Mm-hmm. So then I got this idea. I said, well, if I kind of dance around with them a little bit. So I started, when they came up, I started dancing around and Hari, 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 And then they kind of looked at that and said, oh, well, he's not so bad. Let's move on, So then all was good. And then they started putting the money in the box, and life was good again, right? Okay. So that was the next phase. And then we went to this rainbow gathering. Okay. In Arizona. We hitchhiked out there with my girlfriend, and we went to this rainbow gathering in Arizona, and we were stuck in Winnemucca waiting for a trucka that never showed up. But finally we got there. Anyway, so we get to this thing, and then somebody comes up to me and says, hey, you want to go to the Hare Krishna kitchen? They got really good food over there. And I'm just going, well, is it vegetarian? They said, yeah, I was vegetarian. And I was into raw foods.
You were vegetarian.
Yeah, by that time I was vegetarian. And I said, well, is it raw foods? Because I was into raw food, vegetarian, proper, the real thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then they said, well, no, it's cooked food. And I said, nah, it's all right, it's cool. This guy egged me on. Come on, you got to come. Finally I said, all right, let's go. So we went over there, and then the interesting thing is that there was a guy doing bhajan, right? His name's Bahudak. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bahudak, but he was a famous singer. He had this real deep voice, Hare Krishna, like this. And I'm thinking, this is interesting. Now, I come from a music world where, songs are 2.5, 3 minutes. The longest song ever recorded was Hey Jude by the Beatles, 7 minutes. This guy just went on for forever, and never stopped. I was just interesting, And meanwhile, there's this kid next to him, no shirt, torn blue jeans, no shoes, long hair, disheveled, just dancing, Very, very interesting, just trying to wrap your head. Meanwhile, they're trying to serve out the food, but they're being delayed. And I don't know if you have this in your thing, but whenever they serve out prasadam, it's like, where did all these people come from?
Yeah.
It was really like that. I mean, there was a few people there sitting and watching, and then all of a sudden, they started serving out the food, and just all these people, and this is, you got to realize, it's in the forest. It's in the forest, and there's, tree. Yeah, the rainbow gathers, in big wilderness, and there's nobody around. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, it was just like,
people just came.
People just came. It was another one of those things, this doesn't make sense. And then, anyway, they served out the food, and I was thinking, okay, cool. Now, the interesting thing is that when we went back, we got a ride back from a guy who was going to San Francisco. Now, I lived in Berkeley. What I didn't really consciously realize is I lived right on the same street as the Hare Krishna temple. And I would walk by there. But you walk by a bank, you walk by, it's just like a church, or, it's just like another building. Yeah. Really didn't really pay any mind to it. But when we drove around the corner for him to drop us off at his house, he turns his head and goes, "Whoa, there's a Hare Krishna temple there." That's kind of like, so what? You know, he goes, "They got food in there." You know, hippies there. So anyway, we went into the temple and they served out a meal, and I was thinking, okay, that was the first time I went in. I never went in before that.
Okay.
And they said, "You like this?" I said, "Yeah, it's great." And they said, "Well, we have dinner program. You can come every night like this and eat for free." And I thought, ooh, okay. It was right down the street from my house, right on the way to the university. I'd just come back from a trip. I'd run out of money. I'm going to have to start busking a lot to get up enough money for rent, and so on and so forth. You know, I was living with some students, had to pay rent, had to buy some food. So I thought, okay.
Free food,
Free
you don't
food.
say no.
Hard to say no. So that's what got me. But you know,
That's how God got you.
that's how God, you know, he lured
Free
me in
food.
by the free food. It's true. I have to admit it.
Sweet.
But I mean, the real turning point was, you know, because I would go to these dinner programs, and one devotee, he would sit down with me and ask me this, ask me that. "So have you read Bhagavad Gita?" I said, yeah, I read that. I'm not interested. He said, "Well, why not?" He goes, "It's about war. I'm not into war. I'm, you know, just like, you know."
Peace and love.
But peace and love. So then he said, "Yeah, but this is a different kind of war. You have to realize, you know, it's not burning women and children with napalm. You know, it's different, because that's what's in your mind from war, Vietnam, and so on." So then I started reading Bhagavad Gita again, and then I would ask questions, challenge you, and do it back and forth. But for me, it wasn't easy. You know, I had to, you know, pound at the mental platform quite a bit. But then I started coming around more and more, and chanting and so on. And then eventually moved into the ashram. And yeah, I lived as a brahmachari monk for 16 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So I lived in, you know, not only Berkeley, but I moved to Los Angeles.
This went now quick, like from...
As soon as I got that prasadam and went into that temple, it was probably, because I joined, yeah, probably just a couple of months.
So before that, you were like a rock star on the road, having your...
you know, wannabe, a rock star wannabe.
You were a rock star wannabe, having your... Just live the day, have your food, raw food, some beers, some hippie style.
Some girls, some drugs, you know,
girls,
like
some
that.
drugs.
You know, a little bit like
Sex,
that.
drugs, and rock and roll.
Sex, drugs, and
basically.
rock and roll.
And then you hear Harinam, and you have some prasadam, and within short time, after, you know, reading the books, then it just came to me. I have to change my life. Mm-hmm. This makes too much sense. What Krishna is saying. What was something which you remember now? What touched you maybe?
What, a specific verse or something? I don't know.
No. Just like something where he was like, this is not now talking about Vietnam War. This is seriously talking about myself and about my inner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea that we're not this body, that we're a spirit soul, that we're eternal, and that the spirit soul's eternal dharma, Sanatana Dharma, is to be a servant of Krishna, and that being a servant of Krishna is not just, you know, to talk and eating donuts after church, but to actually do something. And this is the thing, is that when I visited the temple, you know, there were brahmacharis there, and you could see these guys are actually living what Jesus Christ was talking about. Yeah, brahmachari monk. So these are guys that are living in the temple, and they showed me. So this is my locker. Everything I own is in this locker, right? And we get up in the morning. In our tradition, we get up at 4:30 in the morning, and we have 4:30 in the morning till about 8:30. That's the morning program, and everybody goes. And 2 hours of that is chanting on our beads, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this tradition, when you see that these guys are doing this 7 days a week, you know, every day, 365 days a year, you go, these guys are serious. This is the real thing here, you know. So it's different, And you catch that. And then, it's reading the books and seeing the example of the devotees. You just go, okay, this is real.
And you thought, I'm going to live also like that? What was your main motivation for choosing this life? You were not satisfied with your other life? Or what was
correct. I mean, after 5 or 6 years of being a struggling musician and realizing that this ain't going anywhere, After 6 years, I always figured I'd be famous and something by 23, and now it was 25, right? This is not working, folks, I'm doing the same. You'd play this, because you play stuff on the street, and as a musician, you kind of uplift the mood, you make people happy, but you realize that the happiness that you're giving them, it's not a lasting happiness. That was the other thing that was explained, when you take the spiritual life, you gain a lasting happiness, something that's eternal, whereas the body, you get some happiness, but it's a very, very small amount of happiness. They compare it to a drop of water in the ocean, right?
Not lasting.
Yeah, just a teeny bit of happiness compared to the ocean of happiness that you can derive from spiritual life. So these things made sense. So, it's like this. You have to try something, and this is what it explained. If you don't try it, how will you ever know? So I was willing to make the experiment. Okay, well, this is not working. Playing on the street is not what I envisioned of being a professional musician. So let me try this, see what happens. And it wasn't like I really had to give anything up, because they were doing music in the temple, right? And it wasn't like forbidden to play guitar or sing or dance. In some traditions it is, but in this they said, no, you can sing, you can dance.
It's actually nice if you sing and dance.
But you sing and dance for Krishna. So you take whatever propensity that you have, and you utilize that propensity in the service of the Lord. And that's yukta vairagya, right? Using everything, whatever you have, whether it's a camera, right? A microphone, a piano, whatever talent you may have, you use that in the service of Krishna and as an offering. And that way you'll be satisfied. And you try, if you try it out for yourself, we say, make that experiment. Whatever you do it for Krishna, without any selfish motive. As soon as there's some motive involved, then it's business. It's not bhakti. Bhakti means unmotivated. That you simply want to please God. It's the same thing. If you want to give love, love is unmotivated. Real love is unmotivated.
Absolutely.
So when you have this unmotivated love, it's interesting, it doesn't make sense at all. When you have the unmotivated love, that's when you get the love back.
Yeah.
But you have to make that experiment for yourself in order to know.
Well, I think that's the beautiful part, what you say, like, to some extent, everybody's seeking happiness, fulfillment.
Yeah.
You were thinking and gaining it by becoming the rock star,
right.
Famous, rich, and whatever. Didn't work out. You did it for your own pleasure, for your own sake.
Right.
It didn't work out, at least not in a lasting way. And then suddenly you see that there is a way to get to lasting pleasure when you suddenly don't think about yourself anymore, but think of something higher, think of the Lord, think of Krishna, and serve Him with everything you do, and suddenly you get pleasure, you get happiness, you get fulfillment, and it is a never-ending stream of it.
That's correct.
You can inhale and exhale and chant the mantra day in, day out, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't get boring.
It doesn't get boring, no, it's just getting more fulfilling.
It gets more fulfilling. Yeah, some pop song, you can sing for so long, and then, I don't know, you must have some experience, fresh. You sing, because people like certain songs, right? So you sing the song, but after a while, it's just like, oh God, I don't want to do that one again. Exactly. But with the Maha Mantra or some other prayers, some heartfelt prayers to Krishna, you can sing them over and over and over again, and it gets better and better and better.
Nice. If you would have one last point which somebody who watches you would like to motivate or to inspire, or what would it be?
I don't know, just try it out. The main thing is that you make the experiment. If you don't make the experiment, you'll never know. It's like a bee hovering around a jar of honey. Until he actually enters into the jar and tastes the honey, he'll never experience. So if you want to really know, you have to try. And we all here think that it's a good thing to try spiritual life, and it doesn't have to be this. We're not here to, make you a Hindu or a Muslim or a Jew, but whatever faith that you have, if you don't apply it, you'll never really know if it's real or if it's going to work. You have to apply yourself. And that goes to anything, whether you want to be a doctor or this. If you don't work at it, you can't expect it to get any result. You have to work at it. Don't think that just, sitting someplace and saying I'm spiritual means that you're a spiritual person. It doesn't work like that.
It's a nice title which people like to have.
Yes. What are you? Oh, I'm spiritual.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
So try the experiment. Chant God's name, which Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita is the easiest form which you can do everywhere, anytime. Try it. Don't believe anything he said. Don't believe anything I said. Just try it yourself and find out if it works for you as well. Thank you very much.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai Gurudev.
Haribol.
Haribol.